2023. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Lohman?
Here.
Mr. Hyam?
Here.
Mr. Heiss?
Yes. Here.
Approval of the minutes for the regular meeting held April 10th, 2023. As there was a few changes.
Yeah, a couple of changes were noted already by Mr. Heiss. There was I had omitted mistakenly a second on the second page. And the notation of the unanimous approval upon the roll call vote regarding the purchase of hydraulic lift cylinders by the fire department. And then also, since we were making that correction as well, I specifically added a notation that 8 zoning permits were issued in March under the zoning report, which is also included in the written report, but no problem adding that specific notation. And then Mr. Lohman has already pointed out that the name is Stephanie Frankenstein and not Beth Frankenstein under the report about adopt a plant. Are there any other corrections noted by the trustees?
I move that we accept the minutes as corrected.
I second it.
Roll call.
Lohman?
Yes.
Hyam?
Yes.
Heiss?
Yes.
I guess you'll pass that down and to sign.
Yeah, I just went and
That's
made
fine.
those corrections, printed it out. There's a signature line at the very bottom of the last page, and that's ready to go. So I'll pass it right now.
Approval to pay the bills as have been presented over the past month.
I make that motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Lohman?
Yes.
Hyam?
Yes.
Heiss?
Yes.
Correspondence, me. It's the Board of Health meeting today, I believe is at 4. Hamilton County Commissioners, I guess we participate in a housing and urban development block grant program, which we really don't, we're listed as it, but we really don't do much with it. And if we don't do anything, that they do it every 3 years, like re-up it, that will be re-upped it on it again. I guess by us being in it, it allows more federal funding to come into the area. So that's basically something we don't have to do if we don't want to change it.
So we're included in the
Yeah, Crosby was
block
listed as, yeah.
grant program for CMHA. Is that what you said?
HUD, it was actually HUD,
Or
Housing
HUD.
and Urban Development. And then OTA still has virtual training opportunities. Representative Abrams is going to be here in June. She's just trying to get around to her constituent areas. And a message from OPERS is they said their investments were down 12% last year, and they blamed that on higher interest rates and the war in Ukraine. Hamilton County Small Business Day is May 22nd at the Sharonville Convention Center.
What day?
May 22nd. I believe it's like kind of all day. You can register online. And then I found a guy today for our veteran to honor, Bob Beets or Robert Beets, who's a Crosby resident, who's was in the Army for 20 years.
Is that BEETS?
TZ.
BEETZ?
Yeah, Robert, I think, but he goes by Bob. And then Brenda had reached out to me about people in Fort Scott, complaining about people driving too fast. So I contacted Hamilton County engineers. Rick Feller I talked to several times because he looked into it to see what Ohio's laws are and stuff. And basically don't recognize anything under a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit unless it's a one-way alley or something. So options would be, he says they could monitor the traffic, but if it ended up if a certain percent of people were going faster than the speed limit, they could actually end up upping it, and they probably wouldn't lower it below 25, so that probably wouldn't be a good idea. The only other thing would be getting those temporary speed bumps, those rubber ones that you nail down to the road, and you can take them up in the fall then so that you can snow plow. And he did give me, there's a place in Cincinnati that you can buy them from. So that was pretty much what he said. You really can't go below 25 miles an hour on a two-way street, at least Ohio Department of Transportation. That's the lowest they recommend.
And that was the engineer's office?
Yeah. I actually ended up knowing him. He must live out this way, but he comes in the store all the time. But I talked to him on the phone, I recognized his voice. He has a kind of a distinct voice, but so that's what I found out about that. Have you heard anything else, Brenda, or anything? Or?
No, I have not. Yeah, should I have that person or the phone? I had a couple phone calls. Refer them to you for the explanation, or what should we do from here?
I mean, they can watch.
Okay, because they're just kind of waiting for us to, I think, to see what we
I
thought.
mean, I guess if it's still an issue, the speed bumps is about the only thing really we could do, a simple solution.
Okay.
And they just nail them I guess they just nail down into the blacktop. It says black ones with the yellow lines on them.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have.
Okay.
Dennis?
Correspondence, got a hold of Stephen Whitehouse from Johnson Control, and he replied back that he was apologizing for taking so long. I had sent him an email back in March, and
Is that our salesman?
no. Johnson Control has 3 divisions. Our salesman was in security. Stephen Whitehouse is in the fire division, which is what our alarms are in. And then they also have a heating, ventilation, and air conditioning unit. So Jack Wagner was with the security. He didn't know who Jack was. He was looking through his list of personnel, and he couldn't find him, so he thought he was a bogus man, but then he found out that he was in a different division. So anyway, he agreed to credit the account $1,316 for our hardships that we put up with if we agreed to that. And he would go to their billing department and adjust the invoice and send out a new invoice. So.
It's from that $7,000 one?
Yep. He said he looked at it, and what he's basically doing, he's writing off 4 hours of labor. That's about the only way he can get something through. And so that's where we're at on that. So if
Need to watch when that expires.
Huh?
No, it's just we have to watch for when their service
Well,
agreement's
every
up.
3 years. I was talking to numerous people in different government and industry, and there was nobody out there that was happy with their
With Johnson
alarm.
Control.
No,
Oh, with
any
anything?
alarm system company. They were all having issues. So it's not just Johnson Control. It's just across the board for whatever reason.
Some of the other ones just have smoke detectors and an alarm goes off, and it doesn't even, they just don't even have it, they're not even using a company.
Yeah. So we need to, we're in I guess a 3-year contract. I don't know what year we're in, but we're gonna have to
It's
take.
5-year, I think.
Was it a 5-year?
Yeah. I think
And,
fall
we'll
of
have-
24, I think, is when it
We'll have
was.
to watch that, and
Yeah.
then when that time comes, if we wanna go a different route, then we'd probably do that. But if, I'd imagine we're gonna have to take a motion if the township trustees are in favor of the $1,316 on their restitution. We probably ought to have a motion to accept it.
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
I guess. I mean, I'm just running through my head. I mean, we received a bill. so, and it is an operating expense, so
But we got,
Well, we
you
had
know,
tabled it though because
Yeah.
we didn't want to pay it, so we probably should
I
reapprove
I
it.
certainly don't have a problem with it,
okay,
so.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they're gonna resend.
And so that's gonna include, like, all that equipment they threw in there.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah, okay.
you second it, Chuck?
I second it.
Roll call.
Loman,
Yes.
Hyde,
Yes.
Heis.
Yeah.
If you could hold on just a second, I need to write down kind of what that motion was here. I'm writing down a motion to accept $1,300 credit on outstanding Johnson Controls invoices.
Okay, and then, as far as the Fort Scott Road project, Hamilton County are gonna take and put it back out for bids, but I would not be surprised if nothing happened this year. Talking to them at the annual meeting from the county and the townships that I went to on the 27th, there is so much money in the pipeline out there that the road construction crews have all the work they can handle, and they're not actively competitively bidding. They'll give you a price, but it's not gonna be what you want. So they're gonna take, and I don't know if they're gonna still try to do it this year, but I would assume it'll probably get it shoved into next year. And then we have a meeting at our maintenance facility for the MCM6 training for employees, and that's on May the 18th from 8 to 10 a.m.
What was that acronym again? Meeting for what?
That's an MCM6, and it's from the Hamilton County Stormwater District. It's a certification. So we're having a meeting, myself and Harry, and then I think they're gonna have they had a list of people that they had on the email that I did not know. I don't know if they're from other area around us, and they chose our site. So Harry's not here tonight. I was gonna run it past him, but I'll contact him anyway.
What was the date on that?
18th of May.
Is that what time was oh. What time was the meeting?
8 to 10 a.m.
8 to 10.
And that's pretty much everything in correspondence.
Chuck?
I got some of the same one, but I guess Brenda's been talking to somebody at Harrison High School about community service day.
About a what? I'm
An
sorry.
email.
Service?
You got email from
Oh, yes, yes.
I guess Wednesday, May the 17th, they asked if we got any projects they might want. I guess it's
What I did with that is I talked with Harry about it, and we came up with a list of possible things that teens could do. They will have teacher supervision, with whatever we have them do. So I haven't heard back, but what they were supposed to do at the high school is to list the jobs that we had, and apparently kids can kind of say, oh, I'd like to go over there and do that. They kind of pick and choose. So we haven't heard anything back. Some of the work is outside and some is inside.
so. I guess they do that every year, maybe.
I don't know. I think they may. This is the first time I've worked
Yeah,
with them on
I've
this
never
particular
heard of it
project. It's a
either,
neat
so.
idea. It's a one-day thing, and it's a way for them to be involved in the service project to do something that the community people need or want. So
So I guess on Thursday, May the 18th, at Great Park, 3 to 4:30. They're having a meeting about some West. I guess the Hamilton County got different reason. A West reason, Blue Well and Trail. I guess the water and land, kind of a master plan getting together. What I guess the public official meeting. So, and the other thing I guess we all got an email. I guess after the email went to Matt from Michelle Ball about a resolution for solid waste management plan. So they want that done. I got the email on May the 4th. So I don't know, that's something we want to do. If we got to do it by a certain time, they're going to assume that we disapprove of the management plan. So I guess you saw that email, Matt?
Yeah, I can print it out.
So I don't know if that's something we're going to do tonight or what. So that both y'all have. So
All right, thanks. Guest Sheriff Stuckey or Lieutenant Stuckey?
All right, so for the month of April, we had 99 calls. We had 7 criminal reports taken, only 2 non-criminal. There were 7 of those cases assigned to our detectives. None were closed this month. We had 5 auto accidents and 1 DUI, OVI arrest. And then you have the traffic report from Corporal Brian Peak. And that's all I got. Very simple month. So, any questions?
No.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
I guess that's
Thank you.
Public at large? All right, reports. Alan?
Yeah, I was planning to discuss tonight the continuing issue over the transfer of that property on Oxford Road to Historical Society. And I had spoken to Melba. I was hoping she would be here tonight. For people watching at home, and there's a lot of people that watch this at home, I'm finding out. I get people commenting all the time about how many people are watching this meeting. But we were gonna, as I sent you, we were gonna propose a resolution to be adopted by the board indicating that they no longer wish to use the property for township or historical purposes, but nevertheless, the Historical Society does, and that the previous grantors, the Weisbrods, were willing to accept the property from the township and then transfer it to the society with the same stipulation. The stipulation being, as long as you no longer use it for, in this case, it would be charitable purposes, it would revert back to the grantors. Since we don't have everybody here tonight, let's table this till next meeting, and I'll make sure I can get everybody here so we can talk about it and see if that's what they want to do.
You have anything to add to that, Chuck, since?
yeah, like, I'm kind of in the middle. They had a meeting on April 27th. I wasn't there because I was up in Oxford with you. So they met without me. So they sent me an email. Basically, I don't know what's going on because they got more information they want to look at, and they're going to have a meeting this Thursday on May the 11th.
Okay.
But we're not sure if we have time to talk about that because we got the parade coming up and got Crosby Day, so we might need another day for a special meeting to talk about that. So basically, I'm kind of in the dark because I'm not sure what that information is. So
Yeah,
so
and just,
probably the best thing to do is cable this.
yeah. And remember, the goal here was I think everybody felt that transferring the title to the Historical Society would be a way of facilitating their getting grants for
Right.
the upkeep of the property.
Right.
So And there wasn't really a good way to transfer directly from the township to the Historical Society because of that statute we've been talking about. So because of what the deed says and the restriction on it, this seemed to be the better approach. So all we need is everybody here so we
Right.
can come to an agreement as to what we want to do.
So my understanding, we're gonna get together and we're gonna write some kind of letter and put it together and send it to probably Alan. I don't know what the thought is
I'd
on
send
that.
it to the township and they
Or
could
both, maybe.
pass it to me, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we're talking about less than 1/10 of an inch, 1/10 of an acre or something. So I guess over the years, I don't wonder why we get down to why not get buy that land, but I guess he don't want to sell it to us because I guess in that little corner that
Correct.
mess up this triangle or whatever it is.
Correct,
So,
yes.
because it's been going on for I don't know how many years,
Yeah.
forever. So. So anyway, that what it is. I guess we're gonna meet May 11th or another day to talk about it. And
The June meeting on the 12th, next meeting, correct?
For here,
okay.
And your meeting, I'm sorry, your meeting's on the 11th with. the
of May.
Hey,
Yeah, May 11th is our next,
Yeah, our meeting.
not the trustee meeting.
so we got,
Next township meeting's June 12th, and hopefully we'll,
Yeah, this is the historical desire trustee meeting, and we might have a special one for it. So that's the last I heard. And she sent me an email on that basically what.
Got anything else, Alan?
nothing further.
Maintenance, does anybody, Harry's not here tonight, but does anybody have anything?
well, the only thing is kind of like maintenance, on the new shelter, the color, Bob May sent me an email with icons, color charts, and DWA picked out the colors that would match as close. The roof was dead on. The post and stuff was a little different white than what's out there, but was as close as they could come. So we approved that, and so they, Bob sent them that order in, and they went and sent it in to have the colors approved. And other than that,
Is there any timeline on that they're looking at, or?
I'm thinking it'll be installed somewhere in around August, September timeframe. That's the way it sounded anyway. And that's it.
Okay. Fire Chief Davis?
April run totals, we had 34 EMS details, 26 fire details, for a total of 60 details in April. Last meeting, you guys approved, the board approved for 2 hydraulic cab lift cylinders. Those were purchased and placed on the vehicle 2 weeks ago. No problems. I turned in the invoice to Brian today. Hamilton County Auction Surplus Manager met with us on April 19th to take photos and log the equipment. The equipment was put onto the website right away. The 2 weeks ended yesterday. And about half of the supplies received bids. After talking with William today, we're going to do 2 more weeks for what did not receive bids, and then put the truck on this 2 weeks. We kept the truck off the first 2 weeks because he had 2 other fire apparatus in the county going on, and he wanted to see what kind of response they got with those. Those end soon, so. He'll be out this week to take photos of the engine and place it onto the website. Anything that doesn't sell is up to us to get rid of. So when I get an email on what does not sell, I'll get with, I guess, Dennis and Harry and get a dumpster down there. And we'll either throw things away or take stuff down to the scrapyard, Garden Street. The last thing I have is spring fire hydrant checks have started. Crews will be out servicing them and clearing weeds throughout the summer.
Even if those 2 fire hydrants ever got fixed, the one at on Strimple and Mount Hope, and then, wasn't there one near Fort Scott, I think?
Yep. I'll check in the program tomorrow. I don't recall a email from them, but I get so many emails from them.
I can't believe it. I mean, I know it's them, but I can't believe they're that slow about it. I mean, that's a safety issue. I mean,
I will check tomorrow and email you with the results.
I know right there on my hill, there's a fire hydrant down there. And a couple years ago, it washed the water coming down off the road right there, going in the ditch. Fire hydrants in the ditch. Pretty much washed all the soil away from the hydrant. And then Hamilton County mower man clipped it and knocked it off. And then they had to fix it. They refilled it with some heavier rock, but still you might want to check it because it's still below grade. It could use a little more fill in there to keep it properly.
Is that behind the guardrail?
Yeah, I don't think there's a guardrail up that high.
Okay,
I don't think there's a guardrail in front of it,
okay.
but it's down over the hill a couple 100 feet.
no.
Okay.
I think, in fact, there's a hydrant at my driveway at the farm, and it's the next hydrant down over the hill. So however far, what are they, 400 feet apart?
4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be the next fire hydrant over the hill.
Anything else?
That's it.
Thank you. Brenda, Community Coordinator.
Well, I've got a lot to say. We have a lot to talk about today. I'll just start with the highlights over and above our regular programming. Last week there were 30 people who attended our May 2nd Senior Club meeting. After lunch at Harrison Cracker Barrel restaurant, we gathered here and enjoyed guitarist and singer Pete Pania. He was a part of our Butler Rural Community Connections grant program with Cincinnati Creative Aging. So we had our first concert. Approximately 20 seniors recently had a delicious dinner. It was very good at the Hasmer House, which is one of the oldest taverns in Versailles. This was one of our monthly dinner with friends outings. We tried to go to a different restaurant outside of Harrison. Is like a little bit more, just more fun and interesting than we're used to doing. So we are planning to go to the Fishtail Tavern in Hooven for the amazing fish sandwiches. You may have remember King's Inn fish sandwiches, and Jim and I went over just to see how it is. They've remodeled it and everything, and they have a nice place for like a party or a group, and then they have their regular seating area, but the fish is still like this thick. It's awesome. It was very good. So that's what we're going to do on Thursday, May 18th at 5 p.m. We have a day trip planned for this coming Monday, May 15th, to have lunch at the Cabana on the River down near Sailor Park there, and then go downtown to the Union Terminal Omnimax Theater to see Secrets of the Sea. And it's really nice and good because the only cost really is going to be that movie ticket, which is $7.50 for seniors, and then whatever they choose to eat for lunch. We are getting a good response, and we have the Cincinnati Council on Aging van coming for those who need assistance with special needs transport. The rest of us will follow in cars, so that's a building right now. I'm currently in the process of working on, I should have heard the word many details, for upcoming Crosby events. That includes the donations and table reservations. That's where I'm at right now. For Crosby Day at Strickers Grove to be held May 21st from 1 to 8 p.m. And I will just remind folks that it's just $2 admission fee for anyone to get in the gate. And I think we typically pull in close to 2,000 people in the course of a day, if we look at some of the gate admission times that we've checked it. So anyway, we're going to be having a special show for children under the pavilion during the 1 hour break when the ride shut down for their dinner break at 4 to 5 p.m. And you will be hearing a little more about that in just a minute. Also, I'm working on a lot of details for the 108th consecutive Memorial Day parade and service on Sunday, May 28th, the very next Sunday after the Strickers Grove. It's at 2 p.m. And we are always so appreciative of the various participants who'll be in the parade and its building. It's going to be really exciting and a great time for everybody to come, not only to enjoy all that's in the parade, but to be a part of a very patriotic service in our cemetery here. And this year, I was happy that we were able to welcome back the 9/11 Steel Memorial from the towers, and just the fact that those men continue to seek to keep that memory alive after all these years. I just want to make a little statement here that we would love to have as many veterans as possible that can be honored at the cemetery service to come, and you can contact me here at the center, and basically it is just that you are seated in honored seating. It's not that you have to do anything, it's just that we get to honor you in a special seating during the service. The Crosby Township Spring newsletters have hopefully found their way to your mailboxes. Bill Farrell of Minuteman Press was awesome to work with on this project, and I mentioned that it has a lot of steps to go through. I was really impressed with the fact that the Postal Service now has a special program where they take the data that I give to them, or that comes out of zoning actually, and they now can kick out any duplicates, which is it's a very difficult process to ever figure all this out. So that was something that he gave me a thumb drive for, and I thought I would get with Rick and Diane, and we'll put it on both of our computers, the database for all the residents that we have, and then she and I are going to go over this summer as we can catch up and get through maybe the May months. And activities, but just to update anything that's happened recently. So we're going to get into a new way of keeping track of things without trying to look it all up when we need it. We're just going to build it as we go. The Senior Club June 6th meeting will be a special science show. It's going to be presented by two of our members, Steve and Donna Brickner. As most of you know, Steve is a retired Harrison High School teacher who has many accolades and awards, and he just laughs and grins. He goes, I can't wait to do my show. I guarantee you that it's going to be fun and memorable, and so he's excited about whatever. I'm not sure what's going to happen in his show, but it's going to be good. So that will be at our June 6th meeting here. The things I'm working on for summer, just on the back burner at the moment, but I've spoken with our Fire Chief Jason and Stephanie Bittner to run a CPR class that would include even certification for our Crosby community. So it will be something we would advertise on our signboard, and anyone can come and be a part of learning to do CPR. A second thing I want to do this summer is plan another community meeting with people working cooperatively to help people restore their homes and do repairs. And they do the vetting and figure out what they can do for others. It's almost reminded me of like a local mission trip or something. And I haven't actually, seen their work, but as I understand it, they have quality people who come in and they are able to help people who have needs in their homes, whether it's repairing things, restoring things, or whatever. So that's something I'm working on to get the community together to do that. And we're about to start yoga classes this summer as well. And so those are some things that I'm working with. And then I wanted to say I have a special guest today. And you might think that Uncle Al has joined us. if you wouldn't mind, John, we have the Uncle John Show. This gentleman called me to explain that he had a unique children's performance, actually, that's based on the Uncle Al Show that many of us all grew up watching. So he talked a little bit about his story, which is why I invited him to come tonight with his son. And also, he's offering to put this program on for us at Strickers Grove for Crosby Day. And it would, again, like I mentioned earlier, be during that 1 hour break that we always have. And maybe you can be able to tell us a little bit, John, in a second, just about what you plan to do there. And I thought I just would also like you to mention the fact that the story of you wanting to come and do that with us is also built onto a bigger program that you're involved in, which would be the Cincinnati Autism Connection that serves those folks in our in our city. So I'll just turn it over to you, and you can just introduce yourself and your son and a little bit about what you like to do,
Absolutely.
and that will be awesome.
Thank you, Brenda. Okay, so you can call me Uncle John. I'm here with my son tonight. His name's Johnny. And he-
What's your name for the record?
John Fritch.
Thank you. How do you spell that?
John, you might want to move the mic up. We can't really hear you. I think it's probably
Okay.
low for me. I'm not sure why.
FRITSCH.
SCH.
There
Thank
you go.
So I'm here with my son, Johnny Fritch. And he was born in China. I lived in China for 10 years, and I was a teacher there. I taught math, science, PE, and English. The 10 years I was there, I taught pre-kindergarten, I taught kindergarten, I taught in primary schools, I taught in middle schools, and I taught in university and private schools for the 10 years I was there. And I wrote and developed and performed my show live on stage and on TV in China. And I got a very good reception in China doing it. I kind of did all the skits in my classrooms and kind of developed my shows, doing little skits in my classrooms. It's all based on creativity, education, and it also teaches tech because I have a huge green screen. And on my show at Crosby Days, I will take the kids for a plane ride on my green screen, and I will take some kids to visit the Scarecrow. And I have a huge farm set, and I have multiple sets, but at Crosby Days, I'll bring my farm set. So there's a barn, there's a fence, huge backdrop, house, tree. There's multiple screens. I have a huge projector screen. I have a TV screen under the TV. Lots of puppets. I play accordion. I play banjo, sing children's songs. Again, I have a dog. A dog will come out, sing a song. It's very creative. It's the only really great show in the world. And you can view my show on www.unclejohnshow.com. And that's John with no H, Jon, so Uncle JohnShow.com. And I'm performing also for the Hamilton County Fair at Strickers Grove. And I'm partnered with Autism Connections. They're formerly the Autistic Society of Cincinnati. And they rebranded the 1st of January. And I'm working with the CEO, who's an advocate and really passionate about autistic children in foster care. Now, my son's mother abandoned him strictly because he's autistic. So he was born in China, and I'm his father. And I'm very passionate about autistic children in foster care, so I partnered with the Autism Connection, and all the money from my show goes to help raise awareness and money for autistic children in foster care. I don't profit from anything. So I built this show when I came back from China to basically raise awareness for autistic children. And I'm very passionate about autistic kids in foster care because they basically get overlooked. And they're loving kids, they're wonderful kids. And I'm trying to get these loving kids adopted. And using my show as a platform for that. So
Sounds like fun, John.
I guarantee it's going to be a lot of fun. I got a good support team on my show, and there's like I said, moving puppets. It's lots of creativity and songs, and
Right.
the kids are actually the stars of the show. So
That sounds great. And when I mentioned it to Doug that you would be coming as a guest, he had the idea that that the Autism Connections program folks could come out and do have reserved a table and have their brochures and things that you are actually there for, and then maybe there will be donations too that just come because you're doing that to help with
spoke
everything.
to Mary Helen Riker today she's the CEO of Autism Connections, and she'll be there.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So.
That's very good.
So are you charging to put this show on at
I
Crosby
would like-
Days, or what's the?
I would like a nominal fee to Autism Connections, which is $100, if I could get that to them to put the show on.
And that's a typical amount that we have done for things in the past.
Oh, is it? Oh.
Well, I'll say before me, basically.
What I'm bringing and what you'll see, you'll be it's quite the bargain. I have a huge set that I'm bringing, and it's like a modern day Sesame Street
Yeah.
TV show set that I'm bringing. So
Well, I mean, if all you're asking for is $100 from Crosby Township, I don't have a problem with that. I'm assuming you'll get better donations from the patrons that are there, so
thank you.
I don't have a problem with it. We need a motion for that.
Yeah.
I move that we give Uncle John's show at Crosby Township Day the $100 to put on the show.
I second it.
Roll call.
Lohman,
Yes.
Hyam,
Yes?
Heiss.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
All right.
I'll put on a
Thank
great
you.
show for you.
We'll be ready to see this.
I think it'll be good too, because it's always you can go ahead and sit down. I think it's always a downtime when people kind of wonder what to do with themselves when the last of the door prizes that are for that period are done. And it's nice to have that time filled out with younger kids who are the more restless ones. They'll have something to do that's fun and new, and that's awesome. I appreciate the call.
There's a lot of kids too.
Yeah.
Great. I go there every year since I've been back from China, so
Okay.
this has been forethought for me to try to perform my show.
All right. Be
Where you just do it in a shelter there, I guess?
I have a couple questions. I got one. Do you have a flyer or something you have about your show?
I was gonna print stuff out, but I have a website. You can view the pictures and stuff there.
Well,
If Brandon needs anything else from me, I'll supply it.
well, I was thinking about, because we give free passes to Crosby School, and I thought maybe we could pass that out with it.
Oh, that's
Might
a good
get-
idea.
Might get a better turnout. Might get a better turnout, and so I why I asked that. So maybe you can get which one. When are you gonna drop the kickers off? Maybe about.
Well, actually, they make them now. I have been, I'll say, seeking to talk with Patty Van Cleve. We haven't connected the way we do at the end, like with all the details. But she's probably busy with something. I'm not sure. But at any rate, everything will probably run the same. But they like to be more in control of how they do it and what kind of little ticket they have. And they did it all last year.
Okay.
So I don't foresee a problem. But I don't know exactly when.
Okay.
Anything.
I
It's in process. It's part of those details.
I thought a good idea. So.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Thank you, Chuck. That's all.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Fiscal Officer Matt?
The main thing for fiscal offices, we need to set a date for the preliminary budget for 2024, because that's going to be due. My recollection is sometime in July is the final date for that, but there's not really a time you can't do it prior to. So in the past, we've kind of been right up on the deadline of that, or it snuck up on us. The last few years, we've tried to be on time with everything, and not have last second publishing of meetings and that kind of thing. So I don't know if you guys want to do like an early meeting the same night as a regularly scheduled meeting. I mean, we kind of take your pick, because we're scheduling it in order in a timely fashion. So I would prefer in June. We set a date. I'll publish it immediately, so there's plenty of time. Get it out. We could do it prior to the June date if you want. It's a preliminary budget. Probably won't take a lot of time. You could probably schedule it 45 minutes, hour before.
I would say an hour. Well, we could do it, 6 o'clock on June?
If you schedule it in an hour, they give you plenty of time. You could go through some strategic kind of things. That's really what the purpose of this budget is
All right.
kind of.
Fine by me, 6 o'clock.
June 12th at 6.
Is that good with you, Chuck?
Yeah.
Send a reminder out or something. I'll probably remember it. But
June 12th, 6 o'clock, special meeting.
still plan.
The only problem with that is we don't always get, from the auditor's office, a tentative tax budget. I don't know when, I know, Matt, we turn it in, but we don't always, I don't know when we're gonna get it to have the meeting.
That's a problem every year. You talking about the
Yeah.
like the expected revenues? That's been a theme, and that's something that will come shortly after. So we make this budget. The way that I've come to understand this and reconcile that in my head, because that's been kind of a contention of mine as well, is that, you know, in some organizations or governmental organizations, they're not just doing, you know, 1-year budgets, they're doing 5-year budgets. You know, and they obviously don't have, you know, an official, you know, expected revenues for that either. But we typically are basing it on, you know, what things were for this year, and try to not do any drastic changes. The revenue, those estimated, I forget what they call them, estimated revenues or projected revenues, they always come after. I appreciate that, Brian. That's the way it always is, and I've always had the same thought.
Just work on what we know.
6/12 at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
You got the written, distributed the written fiscal officer report as normal. So, that's that.
Is that all you got?
Yeah.
Anything else for Matt? Zoning, Rick?
Oh, excuse me. I had but 2 permits issued last month. One of them was for for fence, and the other one is for the gas station at the corner of 128 and New Haven Road. I finally issued that zoning permit.
They got the tank in down there this morning.
Couple of them.
We're gonna wait
By the
another
time I drove past it.
What, it's buried?
Oh no, there's a couple of them by the time
there
that
were a couple
by
of
the
'em. I
by the
saw
time
that.
I
Yeah.
drove past.
All right.
I need to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. We've got a BZA meeting coming up May 24th. It's a Wednesday. There's 2 meetings, one at 6:30 for the Linwood property and one at 7:30 for Toria Investments. This is a follow-up to the zoning commission meeting in April. They're both in the floodplain.
That was Linwood property.
Linwood Properties and Toria Investments,
How are you spelling that last word you said? Atoria?
TORIA,
TORIA. Investments?
correct.
Okay.
And we also ordered 15 Ohio Township source books for the zoning commission members and for the BZA members and for any future members that might join. And that's all I have.
I would like to know if we, as the township trustees, since we're supposed to know what's going on in the township, if we could have a summary of those meetings so that we know the outcomes.
I can give you the finding of facts,
that'd
if
be
that
great.
would be enough.
Because people ask me what happened at the meeting or what was going on, and I have no clue.
Well, right now, the zoning commission, they have to give me finding of facts before this next meeting. So I can put that together, put it in your mailboxes,
I'd appreciate it.
and if
It gives us something so that we're abreast of what's happening.
so you're just talking about the zoning commission meetings, BZA meetings?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'll put that together for you.
Okay.
I remember we got some of the past sometime, but not all the time. For
Now, it needs to be standard
Right.
procedure, I think. So
If you have
that
it anyway.
the township trustees are always on top of what's going on under us. I mean,
Yeah,
it's all public record, so
Yes.
anybody could really have an opportunity if they wanted.
Well, I understand. That's not a problem.
Okay.
You heard anything about that trailer in New Baltimore? I have to bring it up every other meeting.
Thought I was done writing about that.
Alan and I had a discussion about it. I've got it. We may try something, going a different route under property maintenance code, and maybe that'll push her to do something.
The question now with the property is, we're not quite sure who owns it.
Oh, that's right.
It was in a trust, and we learned that the person who created the trust is now deceased. So we don't know who the beneficiaries are. There hasn't been any change in the ownership according to the auditor, but I'm assuming there's probably going to be, depending on what the trust terms are. So at this point, all we know is whoever's the successor trustee is the current owner.
Wonder who's paying the taxes on it.
Yeah. They still have to pay tax.
Nothing's ever easy.
All right, anything else for Rick? Thanks, Rick.
You're welcome.
Old business, me. At the last meeting, we had that Hamilton County Stormwater District thing that I called about it. And we sign it and send it to them every year, and by doing that, they're charging everybody the 14, and they said basically that's what about all the townships do. None of them send like a big check, like
Okay.
that's just the alternative. So I have it here, and I don't know if you need to make a motion, and then if so, I'll sign it, and then we can send it in. It's due like in a couple days, so I'll make sure it goes out right away.
I move that we go ahead and sign it and let it transpire onto the property owners.
It's been that way, he said, for
Right.
always. But it's kind of confusing with the way you read it. But he said by just sending it in, it's just keeping it the way it is.
I'll second it.
Roll call,
Loman,
yes.
Hyam,
Yes.
Heis.
Yes. They got an estimate of 4,000, but we don't have 4,000.
Well, I asked him that. They're going by the roof surface.
Yeah.
So a business might be 4 or 5 houses or
houses.
something.
Mm.
Yeah, well, I think I left a message, and then he called, and he was very nice and informative, and because I had a list of questions on my form, and that was one of them. Yeah, that's what they're going by footage of roof. So I would imagine a business would pay more than the $15. You would think, but I don't know. I think that's all I have. Dennis.
Old business. I guess while you guys were up there at the annual meeting for Butler Rural, I was at the county and township officials' annual meeting, and it was the main speaker was Eric Beck, our county engineer, and basically they went over the Westwood Northern Viaduct project and had pictures of what it's going to look like. It's actually going to be, if I remember it right, it's going to be 4 lanes in each direction. So that, and it's going to be, instead of stacked, it's just going to be a wide bridge going across there with
that huge
some of the
bridge is-
lanes will be direct access on I-75, and other lanes will go on to Spring Grove and stuff. So they had that, and then he had some slides on the new I-75 bridge, and so that we were brought up on that. And then they talked about the collaboration with the soil and water conservation districts and the townships and getting projects done. So there was probably 40, 50 people there, all township.
Where was it at again?
It was at the Grove, Event Center. It was after you take Ronald Reagan over to Winton Road, you just jump off, head north, and it's just there about a half a mile. I forget what township facility that is.
Yeah, that's where they all. Yeah, there's a lot of
There's a lot of stuff
little
there.
pieces of Springfield Township over there, and
Yeah. So, but they had a bar, you could buy drinks and had some snacks, but that was about it. And then on that same night was the ICRC meeting for the cameraman back there, and so I missed that, so I didn't get to go to that meeting. Everything, it seemed like, was piled up on one night. And that's it.
Chuck?
I don't have anything.
Okay. And then new business, I should have mentioned it earlier, but the Fernald Preserve has a meeting room there that any nonprofit organization can use for free. They just have to apply for it. So it's good for scouts or any kind of organization. She said we could have our meeting there, but I said I don't think that would work too good. But just so people know that. I didn't realize they had
Yeah,
that.
Farm Bureau has functions
Do
back
they?
there every now and then.
my daughter's Girl Scouts have been there for a movie night.
And then the other thing is, I think we all got in our mailbox a bid from Frankenstein's for the flowers. For like, it's around $1,500, and I would propose to try to keep it down to about 1,000, which is what it usually was. Probably just putting a few less plants in, spread them out a little bit more. So I guess I could make that as a motion. And then I don't know if we would would someone just contact her then and tell her? Or, that was just a proposed contract, wasn't it? That she's.
Are you looking at me?
Yeah.
I know.
Let me find it.
Well,
And,
if you don't have this, I guess this would be a question for Alan, but it's going to involve invoices, so I'll ask it. I mean, if you don't have a specific counter offer, do you want to do a motion right now? Unless the nature of your motion is authorizing,
I'd say
you know,
up
one
to,
of the.
up to $1,100 maybe or something.
Well, yeah, but then you're giving a vendor basically authority to put whatever they want on it for that amount of money. I mean, I guess what I'm saying is, would you want to go ahead and, without the motion, you know, reply back to her and say, bring me an offer with what you would do for this amount of money?
She's
the
gonna
thing is by that time, we're gonna be in the
Right.
June.
It needs to
and
need to be planted.
some of your, best flowers are now. I would tend to trust her
Just
with
leave
giving
it.
her just open-end amount and let her work with the flowers.
And that's fine. I say in that case.
Unless we can take and make Doug the go-to man she comes up with a new plan for $1,100 and he okays it, we give him the authority to okay it. That way it speed it up.
You could do that, or you could also just reply and say, this is what we're looking for, and and then she can send me a bill just with the understanding that I'm not going to pay a bill, that's more than whatever you guys say.
Yeah. How you want to handle it, Doug?
I think in the past we gave them adopted plant a kind of figure to go by. So I'm thinking maybe we can tell them, yeah, this is the budget for you to, and she can spread the flowers out more. You know more about that because in the spring the flower a little, but in the grove. So maybe they're gonna look real good at the first, but in 2-3 weeks they.
Oh,
So
they'll fill out.
yeah, so I would think give a next year maybe give a budget amount. So like I said, just a little over $1,500 this year, right? So,
Yeah.
And Doug was in that business, so he got a feel, I guess, go by and look at how much room space there is and figure out how many plants you think should go in each one. So, because there are how many different places, 4 or 5 places. So maybe that's something Doug can do in the wintertime, going around and
You
see
mean
how
leave
many.
this the same, or let me, like, contact her to, or give me the authority?
I give you the authority. I make a motion that we move to spend up to $1,100 from Frankenstein's flowers and have Doug give the final okay on types of plants that will go in.
Sounds good.
I second it.
Roll call.
Loman,
Yes.
Hyam,
Yes.
Heis.
Yes.
I have just one question. I noticed that there's not anything in our outdoor pots here on the porch.
Part of this. I
Is it
think.
part of it? Okay, I haven't been part of any of the discussion with it, so I wasn't aware, but I just noticed it. I thought, oh, I wanted to mention it,
It's early.
Was there a plan or not?
Yeah, it's early. I mean, that's why they just have the pansies in.
Gotcha. I'm in no hurry at all. I just thought of it.
Yeah.
Got
it's
it.
it's on there.
Yeah, I guess it's sent out in April because it says sometime in April we will clean it up. So we did it in last month. So
She just missed our last meeting.
yeah,
She sent me an email and was wanting to put it in the meeting. I said our meeting was already held. So, yeah, she just missed the boat.
I know she put pansies on. So
Yeah. That's all I have for new business. Dennis.
Looking on this thing. All right, as far as new businesses, we got to address all the people that applied for our supervisor's position. We need to set aside 2 dates, I would think 2 evenings, to interview half one evening and half the other, and get a hold of the people that put in their resumes and be first come, first serve on what dates, they sign up for. So what dates do we want to take in?
Well, any Monday is good for me.
did you get one? Did you get one?
Mondays and probably Thursdays.
Well, you probably ought to do it 2 nights in a row, I would think, in order to speed it up. So,
Thursday.
Thursday, Fridays are probably okay.
That depends on Thursday.
Friday night's a good night for people to come in.
If they want a job.
That would be a little,
Thursday might be bad for me. Mondays might be bad for me. All depend on what week.
This is a new experience for me and probably everyone here, but maybe Chuck. I don't.
We interview.
Is this a meeting or is this a?
Just interviews.
Interview.
Okay.
Trustees interviewing the candidate or the applicants.
all right.
Okay. I'm just making sure this isn't something that I need to be checking my calendar for. That's why I ask.
No.
And I would like to have Harry sit in with us too, since, I mean, he has a little more insight on how these people answer questions and stuff. And so I would think I would like to have him at the meetings.
So you thinking about going all the application or pick some?
I would interview all of them.
That normally not how you do it, but up to you guys.
But you can pick and choose.
How
I
many
would-
did you receive?
See, I've been going it for.
How many have you got?
7.
See, I've been going it back a long time ago. It was Home Federal and City of Hamilton. So we get application. We don't do all interview. Up to you guys how you want to do it. Since we got 7, I don't have a problem, but normally that's not the norm. Because our idea is you look at the application and the resume and you kind of kick some out that for whatever reason, so,
Well, I would think you'd knock them out in 2 nights.
so.
And I would like to give everybody the chance to do the interview.
Okay, I don't have a problem with it,
Then
I
they
get saying
can't,
that.
nobody can come back to you and claim favoritism. Because they got eliminated without an interview.
Well, you're okay with that because
I haven't done one of these before, but that'd be my opinion.
you talk to all these people, interview companies and whatever.
I mean, if
In
we
the
had
past,
25, it'd be one thing, but since we only got 7,
'cause I don't think we did that in the past either when we interviewed people. Was it twice
When we interviewed
council?
for Dennis, well, we interviewed everybody, but
right?
Yeah, I wasn't here, so I wouldn't know.
no.
So, we could do it the 15th and the 22nd. If you don't want to do 2 nights in a row, do 2 weeks in a row. So both Monday nights,
That'd be fine with me.
Yeah, interviewing with me.
huh?
Let me think.
Or if you want to do 15th and 16th, or,
You can't do the 15th and 22nd?
I would think Tuesday and Wednesday, like 16th and 17th. I know Tuesday and Wednesday is a bad
Thursdays
day.
bad for you? Are Thursdays bad?
Thursday is gonna be bad for me, yes. Probably because this month I'm gonna have at least 2 or 3 Thursday. Because
well, if you want to do Monday and the 17th, I'm open. I'll just quit planning early.
we can do Tuesday and 16th and 17th.
You can't do the 14th?
Or what?
The 14th you can't?
You talking June or May?
May.
May.
Next Monday. Oh, I'm sorry, the 15th.
Yeah, 15th,
I was looking at
because,
the wrong.
yeah.
I think I'm okay on the 15th and the 16th.
15th and 16th?
Yeah.
What about you, Doug?
Yeah, I probably have another meeting the 16th, but I can cancel it.
All right. Game.
Who's gonna set this up? You gonna have Brenda? Hi, Brenda.
Hi. I didn't hear what you said first, Chuck, I'm sorry. What did you say to me? Did you say something to me, Chuck?
I could volunteer you.
Oh, okay. No problem.
I
You
was to
want
set
to-
up.
You wanted to contact the applicants and have them pick a time?
Well, what's it's
Sure.
going to be our time, starting at 7 or 6:30?
I would start at 7:30, 8 o'clock, do 3, 4 maybe one night and 3 the next.
We could offer both 4 each night and see who,
Yeah.
offer 4 sessions. So we'd have one blank spot then.
Okay, so you're speaking, you're going to have half-hour
Right.
set, okay.
So it'd be 7, 7:30,
8 and
and
8:30.
8. And then if
For
you can
8:30
get another one in at 8:30
on one of them.
on one of the nights, that will do 4, and then we'll do 3 on the other night, whichever
It doesn't
works
matter
out
which.
for your applicants.
Okay, right. Well, I'll give them options, like somebody may have
The
a,
ones that did the resumes, that were the most complete, give them the first options.
would you repeat that? I didn't catch it.
Sorry, the ones that gave the resumes, like did everything, give them the first options. to
Okay,
pick
I was
their
just
time.
wondering how you want to do that, because I gave you exactly what I received, and everyone was in,
Do it in the order that we received them, I guess.
well, what I was going to say is, just for the record, everyone knew everything to do. I made sure of that, and then we received what we received.
I have a summary of everything. Who
You have
sent
what?
Resume, who sent the application. I give you a copy of this.
Oh, you mean I see.
There's 7 applications. And then I said you asked for information, you never got it, all written down. So
Right, I wanted to give you a record of any communication I had, so you clearly understood, what I did, what my role was, and what the response was. for everybody, so it was equal and the same.
Because this would be helpful to you, so, and us.
Okay, before we close this, tell me your final idea on, you want this done in a particular way, like you said, you want the people that had the completed stuff first, and then the partial things get their calls or second. Okay, then that's fine. Now I know what to do.
Yeah, so
Got
that
it.
the last people are just gonna have to fill in the slots. That
just say these are-
That had partial things that
This
didn't
is
do
what's
everything.
available, you know.
Right,
when you get to
okay.
that point.
That makes perfect sense. I got it.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
I have nothing else.
Okay. Chuck,
Now get the application like we do, so.
other concerns? Chief Stuck, or Lieutenant Stuckey? This is your chance. Anybody got anything else? If not, our next regular business meeting will be June 12th, 2023 at 7 p.m.
I make a motion, go down.
Second.
Roll call.
Loman,
Yes.
Haya,
Yes.
Heis.
Yes.
8:12 p.m.